see him, or them, well, him in particular, Les Miles, go to a school to raise the prestige of the school and the program.
Easily.
So, I guess my question for you, in regards to the coach Hugh Freeze, do you think he will ever get a Division I college football job again?
Well, I mean, we've seen quite
and this question, sorry to cut you off, this question is posed to anyone listening. You can hit us up on live chat. Let us know what you're thinking about Hugh Freeze, and if he will ever get another job in college football again. All right, Dan, sorry to cut you off. Let's continue.
No problem. I mean, it may be tough for a while, but, who's to say that from what we've seen...
looks like my mom's listening in. She says no, she doesn't think he will. Hi, Mom.
Wow.
Anyways, go on, Dan.
Yeah.
Sorry to keep cutting you off.
No, it happens. It might be, it'll be in the light for a while. Firsthand, it probably won't be easy, but, as we've seen as time's gone by, that opportunities have opened back up. So, who's to say? He could very well get a job again.
Right. I think he will. He's a good coach.
I think, people, make mistakes, and even to the point where you do stuff like that, or allegedly do stuff like that, who's to say?
Oh, no, they have the phone records. Well, he was doing it.
Okay, in this case. But, they definitely, I think, nowadays tend to look more at your talent.
Your body of work?
Yeah, your resume. And, who's to say? I mean, nobody's perfect, so.
Right, so I can totally see a team like Dayton offering him a job, just hoping, and him being like, you know what? It's a Division I college football coaching job. I'll take it.
Yep.
Yeah, so I definitely see him getting back, because he is talented. He's a very good coach. Obviously, when you get to coach a team like Ole Miss, you know what you're doing, and you're a good coach. So I think, without a doubt, he will be back in the college football ranks. My question, and Not a Clue podcast, they said he could do the coordinator route and eventually get a chance. I don't even think he's going to have to be a coordinator. Like I said, I think he's going to work his way, go to a school like Youngstown State, Dayton, one of the big, FCS schools.
Right. Yeah.
Take over their program, have 5-6 straight years of winning playoffs, getting himself back into FBS, working his way up, getting back to, a top level school. I get, honestly, within the next 5 or 6 years, I can see that.
Yeah, just take the small steps, no
yeah.
matter how long or the work you have to do just to get back there. I mean,
exactly.
Everything's possible.
So let me ask you, this prostitution scandal that's going on, obviously nowhere near as bad as the Penn State scandal.
Right.
We're not even going to touch on that.
No.
But there have been a couple of other scandals throughout college football history, and I want to get your opinion on them really quickly. Do you think that this situation, this scandal, is as bad as or worse than schools like SMU and Miami paying recruits to come play? They were literally cutting checks.
Yeah.
Here, take the money.
And we know that in college football, right, you really don't get a salary to speak of.
No, you're an amateur.
Yeah, you're there, you're going to school.
An amateur.
Maybe you get a degree or not, or maybe you go pro. So in that regard, I mean, yeah, you're paying students, which shouldn't even be happening. I would say, in all honesty, not even close to being as severe as
paying players?
As paying players, yeah.
So you think paying players is worse?
I mean, it's not, it's not supposed to be going on.
Okay. And is that because, that was school-wide, this is just this one coach? Or is it because of the severity of the situation?
Yeah, I think it's more, in other words, too, and, I'm kind of thinking this through even now, the severity of that. You have all these students playing football, getting paid money. That's a big pool of, a big group of people that are all kind of in it together, who at one time, any one of them could have blown the whistle and said, hey, this isn't supposed to be going on. So in that sense, it's severe. They're all taking advantage of it. As to this, it's just one person, that's doing something personal.
Right.
I mean,
it
it's kind of
something personal.
It's personal. It's not, should I say, it's not really directly affecting the team. This is something he did personally. I mean, he used the team phone, right?
Right.
The work phone, but
so
it doesn't really,
So what do you think is more difficult? Having to come to the decision that, I'm going to resign, or having to go home and tell your spouse why you had to resign?
Well, I mean, that's not easy either. But, I don't think, in a sense, it doesn't really, it's not like you're talking about, like, necessarily hurting somebody, physically. I mean, yeah, like you say, you go home, wife might be hurt emotionally. But, I mean, I think it kind of stands separate from your resume.
And it's even worse because it's so public. It's not even just a matter between the two of you now. It's public and everyone knows about it. I mean, we're talking about it.
Yeah.
So people, obviously, it's a huge story. There's one more type of scandal I want to get to really quickly because we are running out of time. We've only got a little bit of time left, just a few minutes. North Carolina and Memphis had some academic scandals. Apparently, they're covering up bad grades, enrolling athletes into bogus classes that are literally, they just sit in a room, read or whatever, and get an A, kind of like a study hall.
Mm-hmm.
And they're getting college credit for it. Do you think that scandal is worse as well, the academic fraud?
Can you briefly repeat what's the scenario?
University of North Carolina was enrolling their athletes into bogus classes and giving them A's. Like I said, classes that only exist for athletes, that are like study halls,
mm-hmm.
and they get grades for them.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're kind of like defrauding a whole
entire school
system. Yeah. I mean,
yeah. So I too think that's
kind of bad.
That's really bad.
Yeah. Back to the other point though, it's kind of, I guess, more indifferent depending on how you look at it. As far as, if you're going to call and, have that happen.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely a tough situation to be around. Just watching it is uncomfortable. Seeing this situation happening, even though I myself, no one that I personally know, are involved in this situation, but knowing that it's happening and that this person who is responsible for molding the lives of 75 people
mm-hmm.
is doing this kind of thing, it's sickening. It really is. It's sickening.
It's indifferent. It's and my opinion is kind of and I'm neutral with that. With the last point, it's I mean, you look at it personally, it's one way, but if it starts affecting the lives of others, then yeah, it is a pretty severe situation.
Yeah. So now Matt Luke has stepped in as the interim coach. The only person that I can think of that is available to coach right now is Les Miles. Do you think Les Miles would be a good fit at Ole Miss?
Time could tell. I mean,
I really don't think he would be. Man was terrible at managing football games. How many times did they lose because he didn't know when to use timeouts? He's not a good coach. He knows football. He doesn't apply what he knows to coaching the game. And that is what led to his ousting at LSU.
Which is always room for improvement, too, though. I mean, who's to say that, you couldn't come back and give another shot, so to speak.
Oh, he will because of the name. Like, he'll definitely get another high-profile job. So I don't...
You just don't see him
honestly
putting the numbers up for the team.
If I could think about coaches on the hot seat and who's going to end up where, my money would be on him coaching at Notre Dame.
Yeah. I mean, it could be a fit. I mean, I kind of think what Notre Dame would probably take just about anybody.
Yeah.
At this point.
Seems like it. Seems like it.
Which is, team like Notre Dame always kind of being held to high expectations as well. So you kind of got to wonder the route they'll be taking.
Yeah. We'll find out.
Yep.
We will find out. For now, they still have
Very
a coach,
soon.
Brian Kelly. He's still their coach. He's on the hot seat. I don't see Notre Dame being good again this year. So we don't know if he'll have a job next year.
Of course, they always had the 1 year, too, where we're always, people, fans always worrying about spoiling that perfect season, right?
Oh, yeah, with Manti Te'o and getting absolutely demolished by Alabama in the national championship.
Yeah, that alone. I mean, it was a, January, 10th, 12th matchup, whatever it was.
Yeah, it was the national championship.
Yep, early in the new year, and team just never showed up.
Never showed up. That's the best way to put it.
Yep.
All right. So we are, pretty much at the end of the show. It's been fun.
Absolutely.
I think we did a good job handling
Kept
just the two of us.
Kept the wheels on.
Yep, and we're definitely looking forward to having the rest of the crew back. Just a few more things we want to talk about really quickly. I like fantasy football. Do you like fantasy football?
Absolutely.
Good, because we're doing it. Fantasy football. NFL.com fantasy football. Join the official Dan D'Antoni Sports Fantasy Football League. The league ID number 4908162. Again, league ID 4908162. To get into that league, you will need to use a password. All right. Password is Pigskin. That is capital Pigskin.
There's really no excuse not to know that because every week you do a
Pigskin poetry.
So
exactly.
Just
Again,
think of that.
Password Pigskin with a capital P. Pigskin. All right. The draft is on August 19th at 6 p.m.
Which is closing fast.
Closing fast. We can have up to 20 teams, so you don't want to miss your shot.
No.
Again, the official Dan D'Antoni Sports Fantasy Football Challenge. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Should be great fun. And as we were talking about earlier in the evening, that, don't hesitate because we're looking for participants.
Looking for participants. All right, we will certainly send out the link. We'll post it to our official Dan D'Antoni Sports Facebook page. And, of course, we will be mentioning it every week until we're full of teams.
Yep.
All right, so now that that's out of the way,
Set it up.
let's get to our This Week in Sports History.
What do we got?
On July 26th, 1952, Mickey Mantle hits his first career Grand Slam.
Nice.
July 26th, 1952.
Seems like, we weren't around, but
65 years ago.
Yep.
65 years tomorrow.
Easily one of the best Yankees of all time.
Absolutely. All right. So our This Week in Sports History was brought to you by On This Day. Not that we're affiliated with them. They're not sponsoring us. So brought to you by is not the correct wording. I am sorry. Our information is taken from onthisday.com. All right.